apologies of absence, we've got Felton and Richard Evans. Disclosures of interest.
Item 20, red line. Is that in there? No.
Sorry. That's that then. Fine.
I have a similar agreement, so as long as, I'm happy to talk about it, but just to let you know that I have a way with that and consider it as well.
Yeah. Okay. Public questions, anyone? No? Okay. Move on to item 4, co-option vacancies. My understanding, we have 2 vacancies we're co-opting for tonight, and we have had 2 applicants. Perfect. Does anyone want us to get into the room whilst we discuss them, or are we? Okay. So if we vote for vacancy 1, the Michael Dodd.
Yes.
Yeah. And vacancy 2, the Paul
Richard
Martin. I will remember. Yeah, there we go. Great. Yeah, if you want to come and put a signature, you can join the table. You bring your own chair up. I did save a couple of people with some things up on the agenda, save them hanging around. Can we go with, do you know what I'll do, if it's okay with yourself, Al, can I do Felton surgery first? Yeah. Basically, I'll give a quick update on it. We're at that last couple of things in it. There's basically the trust and the developer agreeing the finer points of their lease, which then triggers in, has knockback effects on our lease where they're just getting the little things mirroring each other. We've got that one kind of final one which our solicitor doesn't believe there's any issue with, and personally I don't think there was either, which was to do with
Access for inspection.
access for inspection, which our one is to land anyway, and we can inspect that from public pavements anyway, so there's no issues there, and we proceed that moving into the building. So we'll confirm back to our solicitors to get the final lease drawn up, and I would hope in the next week or 2 we'll have that, where we'll most likely then call an additional meeting if we have the people available to
I suspect
to review it.
I want to review it again.
Potentially, yeah, but it's very nearing completion of the lease, and from speaking to Andrew Cooper at Shura, the tender has been issued for the surgery build works. It will run, I think, 6 weeks tender, then on a few 3-4 weeks to review, and then a few weeks for appointments and whatnot. So my understanding was fairly March time is when we were planning, but we would actually have boots off the ground doing works. So provided we sort of fill in that gap with the lease, we should be assessing. And we've got a gentleman here.
Yes.
Who,
Thank you.
who wants
I'm Peter Dawson. I'm a public governor with Northumbria Healthcare Trust. And Northumbria Primary Care are part and parcel of the trust now. So they took over Felton surgery and Woodrington, so we were trying together. As you're all be aware, the surgery seems to have dragged on for years upon years. And it's something that I've always had an interest in. And I asked for a meeting with NPC in August, and they came to one of our governors' meetings on the 24th of September, and just for an update as to where they were. We discussed the lease arrangements and etc. I said, well, one of the biggest things that you have to remember is, I said, people have expectations, and bear in mind that this surgery's now been taught for, it's getting on towards 6 years since it first started, and the doctor's surgery has changed hands, so we have what we have now. The consultation initially is now over 3 years old, so what the public want or expected then may or may not be the same as what it is now. Now, from what I can gather, the plans have been agreed. There will be a dispensary unit. There are to be 5 consultant rooms. So my first question to NPC was, right, how many doctors will there be? Because we all know what it's like over here. And the answer is basically, well, we are not quite sure yet. Now, I've had issues with other practices, the way that they do consultation. And what I always say, what looks good on paper may well work, but what happens if it doesn't? So what I've suggested to them was, contact yourselves, have an informal meeting before you have a public meeting, see what they're prepared to put into the surgery, see what you want, have a public meeting, and let NPC explain what's going to happen. Because I think what will happen is to what you may expect could be 2 different things. But I would rather have people involved now before they see a nice big building, and then the question is asked, well, why is there a doctor? Or why is there a doctor just here 1 day a week? Or what have you. And another big issue, as we all know at present, virtually if you need anything done, if you need blood taken or injections, the flu jabs are coming up, you have to go to Woodrington. Now this is something I would suggest that you have a good conversation with. If flu jabs, COVID jabs are going to be done, can it not be done within this practice, so that people living here can go to the surgery here and not have to go to Woodrington? Because as I pointed out, how do you ask patients to go to Woodrington, but how does the patient get there? There's no direct bus service. You can't get patient transport. So you can have your own transport or get somebody to take it. And things like this need to be discussed and they need to be sorted out before it gets up and running. But I've seen it happen in the past. And I'm trying to, I wouldn't say throw a spanner in the works, but I sometimes ask questions that they don't like ask, because they either don't want to or they can't give you an answer. But they should be, because that's what they're there for at the end of the day. And what I've told them, I said, you have to remember, I said, we, being the trust and them, are there for the patients. The patients aren't there for the benefit of the trust or the doctors. It's the other way around. And sometimes that seems to be forgotten in all these discussions. It's, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. But put it into practice. And sometimes it works, but what do you do if it doesn't? And I've told them, get it right the first time, rather than getting it wrong, and then try and figure out how to put it right. So I hope that you take it on board, and I hope you have a really good discussion with them, because now, before they put a spade in the ground, now is the time to sort it out.
I can take on board what you're saying. So one of the discussions, one of the provision of what they would put in the surgery is something that did come up during our numerous meetings we've had with them, and back in July they did confirm that they can't, although they can, until they've got the building or know when it's opening, they can't then know specifics, but there would be an increased GP and nurse provision, and there are, and they confirmed also the dispensing service in Felton.
Yeah.
So they haven't confirmed there will be an increase from what it is now. I don't, as I said to you earlier, I don't go to the surgery here, so I don't know what now is. That could be one's an increase from 0, I get that, but
it's one if you're looking.
so we're going to get an increase in that, which is something, but I get it. But they're not going to want the building sitting there empty all week.
No.
So, because that costs them money, as much as it's going to be a net 0 building, they'll be expensive to run still.
Yeah.
And they're paying wages and rentals to the on it and stuff, so they'll not want to leave it empty.
But it's the detail you need to have a discussion with them about. And I know they'll be reluctant for getting the detail.
Yeah.
But that's their job at the end of the day. That's what they're there for. And if it turns around that they can only just say, have a doctor here 2 days a week or whatever, well, fine. But let them state it.
Yeah.
Rather than as a doctor's surgery, and you go and there's nobody there. And then what do you do?
And I think one of the other things, what we have had communication just today from David Smith, the Believer MP for the area, who is looking to have some communication with regards to GP provision in the area. So we can raise all these concerns at that time as well with the MP, who I would hope is some sort of standing to help push things and get a service.
But I would ask if you could have a public meeting before the start.
That's also something that we discussed and agreed back in July with the Cara and I think it's from Francesca. Cara's the trust and Francesca is Zura. They'll do a hold rather than a community consultation. What they'll do is they'll hold a community update evening or day or whatever. So, timings, all that to be confirmed, sort of thing. But they want to just say, right, here are our plans. This is what we discussed then. This is what we've got now. This is what we plan on building and servicing, etc. So,
could we push for a date for that?
I think the date is following lease agreement, because all leases will get signed back to back, and it will happen between. My understanding will happen between now and the end of the year.
That's what
we're hoping at.
I would. It must be sooner rather.
No, I fully agree. But so we'll push for something this side of the new year at least to get some positive news.
That's fine. I hope it all works out. I really do.
So do we.
I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has. Lovely. Thank you very much for your
Thank you
time.
so much.
Thank you very much. Again, thinking about since it's so we'll go to Neighbourhood Plan. I believe Alan, you wanted to come and have a chat on things. I can give a little summary of where we were at the last meeting that we had, the Parish Council meeting. We discussed that we're going to try and review different bits of land that we can then discuss with landowners and get in communication with them on what the neighbourhood plan is with them, or if they're willing to discuss the possibilities of
Land
the,
transfer.
what's the word in that land, for the social housing, the stuff that we identified in that we can, it's the only thing that we would be able to extend our parish boundary for, our neighbourhood settlement boundary for, basically.
You don't have to expand the settlement boundary, you go for something called a rural exception site.
Yeah, but that sort of we don't want to put that as a satellite to the village, it would be it, right?
Yeah, but it,
We'll extend a little block for that rural settlement.
yeah, but it doesn't, it can be, but apparently creating a rural exception site is more straightforward and is called for in these circumstances.
Yeah, it gives us that sort of easier way of identifying. So,
What do you mean by review? Review the sites.
well, there's obviously different sections of land that we've looked at already. That we've got we know who the owners are. Whether that's then looking at which one do we think would be more suitable for, or more suitable for the housing, or I guess more what the word is, more appeasing to the landowner, that they would be willing to sort of give that, not give the land away, but allow that land to be used for that.
Right, I mean there is, it's called site assessment. There are experts that can be brought in to do that. It doesn't need to be the parish council.
No,
it needs financing, but that can be arranged as well.
Yeah, no, I fully understand that, but I think if there's no, I would say there's no point in spending money on it if we have a landowner that says no. We need to discuss it before we start expending money on saying, can you find us the site in this sort of land area? I think we need to have that discussion with these landowners, saying that the land is under review for this purpose.
Okay. I felt it would be best to write to the person, and that would be best to come from the parish council.
Yeah, no, I fully agree.
Right. Okay.
Right, we can write to them, invite them along to just have a face-to-face discussion on it, sort of thing. If they're of interest, basically, and stuff.
Are the new councillors up to date on the neighbourhood plan? Do you have any
Given
questions around
they've only been on 5 minutes, I'll give them a break.
Do you want me to give you a quick process of what's been happening and where we are?
Useful.
No, I've no idea.
Right, okay, so the idea is that we produce, it's allowable to any parish in the country or various other sort of administrative neighbourhoods, if you like, to produce a thing called a neighbourhood plan. And the idea is planning as in building new property, developing the land. It allows the community, at the behest of the parish council, to produce a plan which will then be taken very seriously by the planning departments in Northumberland County Council. So effectively it's the community saying, here's what we want to do, and then that being turned into planning policy. It's been going for a little while. We had a consultation at Fair the year before last to talk to the broader community. There was a fair bit of support, I think, for housing for young people, also for housing for older people. That got quite a positive kind of, we need to do something about this approach. And also very much positive on the lines of, it's the countryside, we like it being in the countryside, we don't want it to turn into just an agglomeration of housing estates. So that's kind of what's been driving us so far. We've done a thing called a housing needs assessment, which is done by professionals. They came to 3 conclusions. I can give you a copy, it's an enormous great document, and there's a lot of detail in it. But the sort of summary of the thing is that basically the village has got too many nice 4-bedroomed houses in it, market housing they call it, i.e. what you buy and sell through an estate agent. It's got too much of that, and it hasn't got enough for young people, affordable housing, and also for older people over the age of 75. And they have identified that we need 17 units, 1 to 3 bedroom affordable houses. And we need 19 to 23 units of housing for people over the age of 75, so it's basically housing that can be adapted. Our population is ageing, and basically young people can't afford to live here. Even with a reasonably well-paid job, most of the houses in the village are outside the price range. So, and that's really what the Neighbourhood Plan's for. I think it's quite important, and the parish council has the ability to influence that and do something about it. And my own personal interest in it is a thing called a green space designation, which allows you to set aside land which is in the heart of the community, which has some sort of natural value. And to my mind, the Bogfield is a prime candidate for that. There's a lot of wildlife on there, etc., etc. It's right in the middle of the community. And various developers are interested in building them. So that's my own personal interest. I see the rest as a kind of necessary to get the whole thing done. Yeah, and the next stage, really, as far as the sort of administration of the thing is, but this is up to the parish council, is to get this site assessment carried out. I think we have to do what they call build a robust evidence base, which I think means just get facts and figures to back it up. So, yeah. Anything you need to ask?
Do you think they'll change this now the government push relaxation of planning rules?
I don't know. I think if anything, there's going to be an increase in the targets for new housing, filtering down, kind of thing.
Yeah, just in Bogfield, whether they're all the same in some instances. Well, we don't care what the locals think. If we want to build there, we're going to build there.
Well, that's the reason to have.
That's what's coming out of the government.
Yeah, well, that's the reason to have a Neighbourhood Plan.
I just want to throw my tuppence worth in. I think the Bogfield and Bellways option on it is a bit of a red herring, that they want people to maybe try and focus thinking, oh, we're going to build there. I don't in the slightest think they would want to build on there, given the name Bog. The groundworks to try and sort that out would probably outweigh the cost of the benefit will be financially viable for them for a developer to pay a large sum of money for it and do that and then build houses and then make a sizable profit as they would like to. So I think they would rather somebody says, I don't want there because look at it, it's a ball field, it's this, and then they'll go, well, but you can have it instead is what. So that's why I think it's more of a red herring for us.
Equally, I think the northern end of the bog field might be a potential site for social housing. The other side of Montauk Lane would seem to coexist. I mean, that's as far as
But
I
it's still
understand.
the ball field, isn't it? You know, like we can't go, we only want this bit designated as a green space, but this bit we can build
I
houses.
think we can. I think it
We
was
can
like,
do that.
I mean, it's like you could do a row of housing facing back end of South View, and that bit there isn't bog stricken, and you could potentially split that land. But again, it would need to go back to speaking to the landowners, which we are not.
I think the first communication needs to be speaking to them, and if they say, over my dead body, then that
We
leaves
still,
Why
we
would
still have an option, even if they don't want it to happen.
No, yeah, but
But how do you force a landowner to, or how do you ask a landowner to sell it to the council at a vastly reduced rate?
I don't understand how the process works. I think basically it's like a quid pro quo. You say, look, you give us this bit of land. One of the landowners is very interested in developing extensively through the village. And it's not social housing that he's looking at developing. don't quite know where that works because there is no call for market housing in the village. We don't need it. We've got enough.
Currently, there's not.
But
My understanding, the new government targets that they have issued out, quote me on it, but there's literally thousands and thousands of houses now in demand in Northumberland on these new targets they've set.
yeah, the targets in Northumberland have gone up.
Yeah, it's like
It was
dramatically.
1750 odd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they were saying that it was potentially going 200%.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
So
houses.
yeah, Felton might have met the targets according to the housing needs assessment that when we had it carried out, but we might, with these revised figures, it might not be there yet.
Well, at the moment, this is supposed to be running through to 2036.
Yeah.
So,
I think it'd be an interesting question for David Smith if we do
Yes.
get to have a chat with him about how things could change for what we are expected to accommodate here. Because I think the housing needs assessment and what our quote of the building is are two completely different things.
Mhm.
And we're meeting our expected new development targets.
We're exceeding it.
We're exceeding it after, that's fine, but it doesn't mean to say that we've got the appropriate housing that we need in the
Yeah.
village. As far as the social structure goes, those two things are completely different, but it's whether or not the housing development requirements are going to change, and that is going to override the findings of the housing needs assessment and what we'd be aiming for. But it's important that we get a neighbourhood plan in place so that people have got the opportunity to give an opinion on it and at least it being listened to and us having that documentation in place. Because at the end of the day, if we don't, we miss that option. And I think that was the whole reason why people got involved in the neighbourhood plan previously, was because of upset of new developments and things in the village and the fact that they felt that something should have been done about it before. But it's, so it's giving them the voice to kind of help plan the village for the future. But I think there are still questions out there to be had because I think things have dramatically changed over the past few months.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting for us to find out if there are going to be changes, for what we're expected to have here. And obviously then what I think we need to do is split those plots of land that we could see as potential development, potentially put them in rank order for what we think will be most agreeable, put that to public consultation and ask the landowners some of them, we can predict what the answer is going to be. I think also what we need to do is see if we can ask Bellway, if they have got any further plans. They did full surveys of the bog fields. We saw them out there, taking measurements and going down things to assess the ground there. And we had a meeting with them and we never heard anything else from them. So, but they've got the finances to put it on the back burner until the requirement for housing there is there, even if they sit on there for decades. And just leave us not really knowing. That's the type of money that we're looking at there. But it'd be nice just to have an update from them after we accommodated them last time for the meeting.
Yeah.
Which was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you're saying put off site assessment, professional work from site assessment.
I
So
think
the
until
council's
until we've talked to landowners, it would be. I think it'd just be wrong to try and get any assessment on it, or at least we can, in discussion with landowners, we can make them aware that this is our intention. We think, in our opinion, these sites may be our options. Is the one that you would prefer, being the landowner, etc. Just they would involve. We're more likely to get the response we want if we involve them in the conversation and the journey, basically.
Okay.
And it means then, because at the end of the day, without the landowner, it does restrict and slow the process.
There's two aspects of it which we didn't talk about at the meeting in August. One was the requirements of housing for older people, which we didn't touch on, and also the limits for subsidies, which I still don't understand how it works, but it's possible for the council to change the limits for subsidies to first-time buyers. And that can be set in the neighbourhood plan. That's all I know, basically. It's currently 25%, but it can be set higher. Yeah, I mean, I think that the neighbourhood plan, as a result of this housing needs assessment, has got serious, and that the council needs to get serious as well. It's going to be a good job, and it's going to take a lot of time and effort. So, if the council doesn't have the bandwidth or the interest to do it, then please say so and save a lot of people will want it.
No, I think there's like, do you know, like, you're aware yourself, you were on the council, you took a step back, you know how kind of overwhelming it can be at sometimes. There's a lot of email communication, everything going on. We've got 2 new councillors now. Obviously, it just takes time to kind of get people recruited that are willing to come along and be criticised and be praised and just get their hands dirty and get stuff done. Not everyone's able to do that. We're hoping, I think by next meeting, we're hoping to try and co-opt another candidate or 2 as well. You'd obviously be welcome back if you wanted to get involved more again. And then that should bring us up to full numbers again. But yeah, but we.
I'm going to say from a personal point, I don't think I can do it justice. I've already got a huge workload on with voluntary work that I do, and although I do have an interest and enthusiasm for it, I want to be involved. It's like this week I was fielding emails to whilst stirring my kids' dinner and having 2 kids shouting and talking at me and trying to get back to you and things, and I can't do it the justice that I want to. So I will probably, although I would like to stay involved, would it be taking a bit of a step back?
Well, it's going to need somebody to do it justice. The other thing was, what happened in the September meeting? We said in the minutes of the September meeting, item 70B, that you'd had a meeting with Northumberland County Council about the neighbourhood plan.
Yes, you were at that meeting.
Oh, was that it?
Yes,
Right.
that was with Northumberland County Council. There was
What?
2 Rad Naples,
Naples
the 2. There's
and
3 from Northumberland County Council.
No, the other guy was from a private housing agency to do with low-cost housing in rural.
Right. Apologies.
Sarah Brown. Sarah.
Yeah. So. But,
Okay, that was that meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that's it then. So I'm going to leave the ball in your court.
Yeah, no, but as I say, we'll try and get a letter out to the various landowners now. We know who they are, and just potentially invite them to a meeting, which again will involve you in when we get communications lines going.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
No, we're going to jump to 9. Now, Becca, is it? Becca, yeah. Becca sat patiently waiting.
So I think you all got a copy of the application that I sent. So at the end of May, there was an advert in the Bridge just saying that the plot hadn't been used very much. I think a few years ago it had been used to grow fruit and vegetables for the food bank. And after the pandemic and changes to do with that, I think it just stopped being used. I was the only person that came forward to say that I'd be up for running workshops there, and because I had my own bell tent, I thought that having a structure there so that you could plan for workshops, but then also have a waterproof space so that you didn't have to cancel it, how wet's been this year, could work well. And it did. We had hundreds of people using it over the months that it's been there during the summer, and had different artists. So they gave me a small grant to invite different artists and practitioners to run sessions that were mostly for families. And so for the first time in ages, there were lots of people using the space. I did some yoga classes, but there were people coming to do sort of music, sound stuff with the kids. Someone, Jan in the village, who is in her 50s, 60s, she did a puppet making workshop with the kids. She said it was just so lovely to kind of spend time with little ones, so that sort of intergenerational thing is happening as well, where you're getting different ages of the community mixing and spending time with each other, and yeah, it went really well. So then moving forward, obviously I can't leave my tent there forever. I started a community chest application to fund a yurt there, and sort of with the idea of continuing to run workshops. The plot committee, the CIC, said that they would be up for giving a small amount of money each month to run 1 or 2 workshops, which just keeps that engagement going. Obviously there'd be more free stuff as well that would be run, but as a result of having practitioners come up, there was a woman who's a gardener and a forest school leader up in Berwick who said, oh, can I come and get involved and volunteer my time? And that sort of stuff was happening. So the community chest application was to get something that, obviously it's still temporary, but would be a warmer structure that could be used all year round. And then we also looked at getting quotes for veg beds and just having something that's a bit more durable and easy to use. Because I've got energy and time to do it now, but I'm not going to forever. I'm not wanting to be like, this is my thing that I'm doing. It's kind of actually how can we make it so that it's really usable by the community to have an inside outside space so that it can run loads of different workshops, get lots of different people involved, and so that it's safe as well and secure. The only thing with the tent is that it's obviously like the zippy thing, so people can get in. It was lovely to see that the village did respect it and people were clearing up after themselves. But moving forwards, I think to have a door that you can lock and it's managed, it will just keep people safe. The Cubs and Scouts and Beavers have expressed an interest. Pumpkin Pie used it through that time. Rachel's Tiny Nursery used it, with parents going with their kids, and they just said it's really nice to have like a bit of a downtime space to use. So I don't know whether, if the year was to come about, whether certain times it could be open so that could be used. And I suppose with all the work going into the park, it would be a lovely thing to have happen at that same time, sort of have them so that they're connected to each other. The problem that we had is that we couldn't get in touch with the landowner, so that's kind of why I've come here. And to be honest, it's nice to not actually be doing it on my own, to actually have a bit of a hand, and just to see if it's something that you'd want to support, if you can help, and try and make that happen.
Well, John, I'll hold the floor to you.
Yeah, so personally I think it's great. We need to prove that there's community engagement to justify what happens on the rec next, like for grant applications and the like, and and the justification for spending a considerable amount of grant money on a user-friendly building and upgrades to the area. And what you're doing is proving that there is a need in the community, and you're providing a service that is not done in that kind of way anywhere else. And personally, speaking as a father, I've got 3 kids who love it, and actually having people in the community that are willing to spend their time, ultimately your resources at the moment, and if I can help in any way, I would love to.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the indoor-outdoor factor and things, and getting that space used to its full potential and things. And I think all of my aspirations for the potential that we've got on the rec field, a project on the plot could definitely support it. I mean, it's more of a long-term thing to think that we're going to have a building down the rec, but that was my thing, is that we don't have something down there to support that space and the sporting facilities and outdoor facilities that we want to have down there. but this would be, I mean, there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't coexist and things, but it would be an excellent lead to it as well, to show that we've got increased requirement and things. So I would be wanting to support that venture. Anybody else got any thoughts?
Do we have any knowledge of the landowner?
Yeah,
We do.
we've got the landowner's details. Have we dropped the letter yet?
We haven't dropped it, it was subject to this discussion, so that could be actioned.
Yeah.
We've got an address for the landowner.
Yeah.
We don't have the immediate contact details, so we can certainly ask for them.
So I think,
She's getting on that.
Sorry?
Lisa.
Lisa.
Hanlon, yeah.
Has got any what's
To see if she's got anything on file for her. Just because I noticed it was her signatory on the lease.
Yeah.
So I think it might be worth it. I don't know about the address, but they might have an email from she might email for him or something from back then.
Okay.
So what would be the next step for you? What do you need?
I suppose it's permission, isn't it? Really. And the other things that I just need to check out the insurance for it and planning permission as well. So it's looking at all of those things. I think with a tent, if you're taking it down, if it's taken down every 28 days, then you don't need planning for it. I think when I've looked into it, which is why the bell tent's a little bit easier in that sense. But then it just doesn't have the secure door, which, yeah.
so if we were to write a letter, like in conjunction with yourself to the landowner, explaining what the project is and asking for the consent to use the land for that purpose.
Yeah, I think there also need to be amendments and updates in Parish Council's lease with the landlord.
Yeah.
And then that then therefore be mirrored in the lease with the plot itself. Although it's a single page lease with the landowner, there are certain things there that wording in it that kind of concern me a little. Do you plan on renting the space out, or is it a free for use yard or sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's free for use. Really.
Just because some of the wordings work that it's a percentage of income
donations
and stuff like that it talks about in our lease.
I suppose that's something that I would want to fine tune with everyone rather than it. The Plot CIC, it's Felton that they run, and it was just a way of like, how can you use that to sort of keep this engagement going, and that just felt like it could work, given how it went over the summer. But for sure, like those could be paid and then other people can just use it, or it could be allocated on certain days for like the cubs to use and pumpkin pie, and then also have some free time, so like kids' parties or something like that. But again, just to fine tune it, I think with the community would be a good way to go.
Okay. So if we get a letter drafted and they get you just to overlook it and fill any details on it, and then we'll get it sent off.
Do you think you could give us a few paragraphs of what you're doing, why you're doing it and stuff, and then we can add that in that? Well,
We've got it, if we're happy to just take some bits, that's fine,
Okay. Cool, so,
and also thanks for all the work that everyone thanks for all the delving that you did.
I don't want any harm getting all the leases up to the area.
Yeah, there's a bit of a kind of a blank spot, isn't there?
Yeah,
a blank spot of was it 2012?
There was something because I think the plot wanted to have the lease extended about 4 years ago, wasn't it, for another 3 years, but we weren't able to do that. It has to be an annual review, because Mr. Wilson's lease is annually reviewed as well.
Yes, I suppose
So
12 months. I think it's a rolling 12 months.
Yeah, so there's no lease between the parish and the plot at the moment, that's an active lease.
isn't it? There's
Yeah.
a few different.
What's the vision for the yurt? Is it as a 1 year, 2 year, or?
I said 2 years
Yeah.
on this because I think that was the maximum.
Right.
Obviously yurts do last a long time, so ideally, yeah.
Long, yeah.
But if it was, you know, if it was needed to be moved, I know there were a couple of other options potentially. So.
But it's not just something that we can remember rather than it being a 12-month roll. We asked for a 2-year roll just with
Yeah. Yeah.
the landowner.
Yeah. And with the planning permission side of things, I suppose that comes after making contact with the landowner and checking that it's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think the next community chest application is sort of January, Feb time, so
It might be one of the things that we need to look at, because I know we have set, being the parish council, if it comes through us, we have certain permissions on basically certain permitted developments
Do you know
that
what,
we can do.
do you know what height the
That'll be
base?
less than 4 metres.
I don't know the height,
It's the big line to less than 4 metre.
Is it?
right?
But I think that any number 4
Yeah,
metre
I
is
think-
in temporary structures and
Yeah,
stuff
but
like
it's
that.
just it's still the conservation area as well.
Yeah, there's that
Yeah,
aspect.
it-
It doesn't
but it-
matter.
There's the county council has a service called Do I Need Planning Permission?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And it's like 35 quid. You
To
can
just
put,
have a look.
you can put the
Okay.
question to them,
Yeah.
and you can get the advice from them, and they'll say, yes, you definitely do need it, or no, you
Well,
don't.
there you go. So that's, again, that's after, isn't it? After.
Although it's an expense, it's not, there's no harm in going ahead and
Yeah,
doing it, so you've got, yeah. Because if they say, you absolutely do need planning permission, then you know that's going to
Yeah.
delay you past the next budget time and past the next
The submission
submission date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess there's no harm in, if it does, starting that now,
Yeah.
even if there isn't the
I mean,
sort of official permissions there.
I've spoken to other people that work in fundraising and they think that the project sounds like something that other funders would back as well. So it's, you know, it's just, I've just kind of got this far with it. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's-
The other avenue.
Yeah,
Streets
sure.
as well.
yeah, no, that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Matthew.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Back to the beginning.
Oh dear.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
What, you don't want to stay through the boring bits?
What's that?
You don't want to stay through the boring
I'm sure you're going to join the parish council. You said you've got the time and energy just right.
Yeah, we like
Yeah,
people
I
time and
don't know
energy.
about the parish. That's a lot more work, isn't it?
Don't do work to me, like.
Well, if you know anyone that does, send them our way.
Ask Aidan.
I do.
Right. Number 5. Anyone got any comments on the last meeting? I think I made one technical change, but I think I changed that before it got published anyway.
That's what the type is, that's what I think.
Yeah, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah, there's not that look through it, and,
Yeah.
Everything okay? Yeah.
I was there.
Right. We 5. The
6.
no 6, yeah, sorry. Oh no, that's been long, man. 6 is view the slowly getting to grips with the cash book.
Yeah, that's what's fine with,
Yeah.
that's my next project.
Yeah.
I would suggest that if you want to, just amend it.
It all auto feeds into
Yeah,
that
it
file.
all auto feeds. It's quite in the background
Yeah.
behind this
Yeah.
sheet is another like dozen sheets.
It's a load of horrible.
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, so it's
You must have-
which that
you
part
must
looks
have
really
cash
good.
Goes in, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's there's
No, I'm just trying not to guess.
I actually looked at it last night, quite happy.
I'm stopping moving. Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, so
Yeah, so all you can express should be directly through to this.
Is there any anomalies that we should be aware of?
I don't think so.
Has there been any huge expense on any single item?
They're listed on the plans.
Yeah, the only big expense will
Protocol
the
one, easy.
Bar.
that was 18 months ago in the park for the Play Park.
Money well spent.
And the back that you finished the grades,
And back to pay to the previous
Well,
bigger.
grade day,
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, so, we'll jump up to that, so yeah, the big expenditures, it's, that's previous one, oh, sorry, I did that, didn't remember. Yeah, so we've got some subscription fees, some training courses, have you been in them yet, or are they?
One's in November and one's February.
Good. Wages, the rec field for the play park, all, and then the grave digger, which
Incorporated grades from 2021,
yeah,
22,
there's
2020, you just got to invoice.
yeah.
Okay. This is part of the process, isn't it?
No, they didn't invoice us. So it wasn't that I hadn't paid them, they just hadn't had the bill.
BT claim back soon. So I think there must be a chunk that we can probably go back for.
Probably is a job that can go back.
Yeah, just because of that, that's of the gross figure there, isn't it, for, yeah, so we'll have,
Yeah, I'll look at that then.
yeah,
When this comes back, I can look at the van again.
yeah.
Okay. I'll look at the van, see what
Yeah.
on the cash flow.
Yeah, so I think there's probably a good bit that's been,
Do you know the last one's done?
I don't think there's been one done
For this financial year.
for this financial year, potentially bits last year, but
Okay.
I know she did, I think she would keep a log of where she claimed to date. I think it's that some of those this,
Yes.
yeah. Was it? No, she's going to look at the VAT claim back and stuff. So I think there must be a good portion there that can go back for now.
1,097.
Yeah, so probably worth having a look at then.
Okay.
I'm trying it all with a smaller amount.
Every quarter.
Yeah, try and do it that way. So we've got payments to authorise, as I said, some subscriptions on the SLCC one, thought the renewal came in, we'll renew it for the year and see if there's any benefit from it. You find a couple of training courses out, that's a benefit, I guess.
It's good, we've got a
Already.
really good active chat room as well, where you can.
Oh, good.
Good forum for asking questions.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Some wages on the cemetery staff, the play park, room hire, and can you double check that part of that is need to go get cemetery? Just yeah, I'm just thinking some of the room hires recently would have been with the 2 cemetery meetings. But it's just a change in the cash book sort of thing. And as I said, the grave digging. Be happy to authorise the payments.
Yes.
Trolls. This sort of thing I can basically kept it on as a bit of a, I think it's a good thing to keep on as a rolling, just general item now to keep us up Redfield, yeah, just on all aspects of it.
well, I had another great morning where I left my children and attended, also went to Smash Mole Hills and got chased around by the mower trying to get them done as he was coming.
Yeah.
And there's a limit of how much longer I can do that. I mean, I'm hoping that they're all going to be
There's a limit of the grass cutting happenings.
yeah, there's only 2 more mows left this year, but like it's not happening next year. So I just I'm hoping they just go away and don't come back. But they should start to settle down for winter soon, and then give us a breather to make a proper plan for next year.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
I think that will be the thing. But
When's the contract up for renewal?
yeah. I mean, I think generally what we need to do is get the rec field committee or working group properly established, so we've got a bit more support on this as well. And I think now, at the point when we've got a little bit of momentum behind us, I think it's the time to do it. So we probably just need to see if we can have a...
Good to see the numbers down there on Saturday.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic, and we've just had such a lot of nice feedback about it. I mean, they worked like absolute Trojans at it, including the kids. I did not imagine kids to be able to push such barrow loads of stuff.
Some of the barrows were this size, weren't they?
Oh yeah, so the kids are doing that. It was great.
5 hours of solid work.
Yeah, absolute.
You have kids sleep at night?
Not really.
I mean, definitely things that I've said next time I'm getting a refreshments committee in place. I think there were a lot of people that would have come down to help but didn't feel able-bodied enough. And I think also it probably would have been the same crowd of people that were doing the repair cafe. And yeah, so I need to make sure that we don't clash with that next time, because it's a similar group of people that would have come down to help. But I think people.
It's a massive transformation. It's been really good. So.
And you guys are amazing.
Let's not leave it so long next time.
No.
We can only do half of it.
Yeah.
I swear there was 20,000 litres too much.
That was a bit like
I went down there today, and it was great, and it actually it's been rained on, it's flattened off a bit. It looks really good. Hamish and Fraser were jumping off the top of the climbing wall and didn't break any bones, so it's doing what it's supposed to.
So that's the thing that
absolutely. But yeah.
I was just standing by the turnout in the community. I thought that was
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, keep that going a bit.
Yeah.
Even the ones that took 2 hours to fill 2 trailers, was it on the Friday afternoon?
Shut up.
No, I'm just saying. Where's John? That's it for you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You would have been absolutely scuppered.
I think another thing we do need to put a letter out to our local farmer and business owner for delightfully loaning some equipment to help.
I did ask the farmer if they needed any reimbursement for anything, and said because it was it's for the community and good cause, absolutely not. And I feel the same.
I think we can write a letter.
Yeah.
I'll donate a few jars of honey if I'm allowed to, just as a little thank you. And
Regarding the walls, is anyone catching them?
We do have had Peter Brown doing some, and I think we need to get in touch with Ian to see whether he'll can take it on in that as a professional capacity, because we need to it needs a professional body taking it that can have X amount of traps and just monitor it on a daily or a weekly basis. Yeah.
So the last time the input trucks and somebody's pulling them out.
Well, that's the issue. We've had 2 traps stolen in the last. I think we heard it was a couple of months ago and been stolen already. So it's that.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're being stolen for being stolen to save or being stolen to stop you doing
Bit of both, I think.
Sorry?
Bit of both, I think.
I think
The old Ian's mold traps were getting lifted and laying beside the hole. So that that would imply that somebody doesn't like the fact that they're being caught.
yeah.
And there is no other way of doing it.
No,
There's
no.
no other way. There's no other legal way. There's no other humane way. You know. So it's I
don't like my gas them out, blow the ground up. It works.
well, I'm going to, this is the next thing, I've got the draft letter ready for a potential source of funding for the play area. I really could do with having a proper sit down with Jacqueline to go through facts and figures, because at the moment I've got blanks that I need to fill in.
Yeah.
So if we could do that, that would be really good. And then I've got another, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write to Northumberland Water. They've got a scheme where each of their employees can give 15 hours of community service or like to voluntary work to community projects each year for the good of the community and the environment. So what I was thinking, if we could get somebody out to actually, because everybody that's employed there, someone out to actually assess the drainage situation and see if there's anything. And I spoke to the school as well, and they said they would really appreciate to be included on that project to see if there's anything we can do about the pitch. I think the rec field pitch would be a lot easier than the school pitch, and then also so I would first of all ask for us to volunteer to come and do a consultation on it, and then secondly they do community grants as well that I could then apply for them actually to come out and do something for us.
Okay.
So that's my next thing, but I have to do things in a linear fashion, otherwise it's never going to happen. So yeah, so that's my plan with that.
Good.
Which kind of figures?
Mother research.
Mother, I don't know if you
I've not heard anything else. I had a lovely email back from Lucy at Pumpkin Pie because Glenn Sanderson has pledged us a sum of money towards the play area, but he wanted details to say that it was supporting residents of Thurston as well as Felton, which obviously it does because it's a village's amenity but paid for mostly by ourselves. So it's really good to get some support off him. So he's got enough details that I provided him with, but he wants to give a lump sum towards a set piece, so we just need to give him a quote for, I think a large quote, and work out how we're going to request the rest of the money from grant applications. So that's been really good, but then because what I'd asked for is demographics of Lucy of who was using Pumpkin Pie, because obviously that's actually the biggest user of the play area is Pumpkin Pie. So she provided those, but she's also said that the discussions that we had with her 2 years ago are still valid. She still can see if we do put a building down there that she would be wanting to rent rooms off us, continuously, to the point that it would potentially fund the building ongoing. So that is really encouraging, and she says that she's perfectly aware that it could take us years to get to that point, but they're not going anywhere and they'll have continued. Obviously that's something that she's quite enthusiastic about supporting. And I'm a bit concerned that maybe I might actually achieve putting the building on the nugget before the nugget gets resurfaced at this rate. So
Is the resurfacing an all-weather service?
yeah, so basically it's sort of clean off the debris and loose stones, and then it gets sort of sealed and then repainted similar to what they did up at the parking spot. But
Was it having a look at that one the other day and that looks really good?
yeah, so it's the same person doing it, but obviously in tandem we do have plans that we can potentially put a community building down there on the unused surface as the sort of footprint for it.
Thought that resurfacing was going to occur by now.
I can't remember what she said it last week.
She said they went through by the window, the longer we wait.
Yeah.
Do we have contact details that we can chase them again?
We should have somewhere in communication, I think.
Just because, we
I know Anne's busy at the moment with all the uni stuff and that, so.
So if we can, if any of the parish councillors can.
For the mugger resurfacing.
Okay.
Gentlemen.
Because they wanted a few things things are first, like a water supply and water storage tanks and stuff. So we can get that done, ready for them to come in, like the day, the morning that they arrive. So there's not much stuff lying around.
Legs around, yeah. Okay.
That means water drilling.
It's a couple of IBC tanks and trailers.
Yeah.
It's just, it takes a lot, I think it's a high pressure washer really.
You can't want to, because I'm sucking all the water out of the mine.
Okie-doke. I think you can cover part of the agenda if we can try and get something from
Yeah.
the water to
I think
review
it-
drainage
yeah.
situations.
I've had residents say that if we can sort out the surface of the pitch, they're willing to bring back the Felton football team, which helps. Two-sided. There used to be a regular Wednesday night group that played five-a-side. Sadly, the Muga surface was not good enough to keep that up. But when that's done, there will be a group of people wanting to use it again. And B, we can get an actual team together to get grassroots football started again, which can only be a good thing.
Lots of luck throwing up there as well.
Potentially get a letter to that effect, because that would be really supportive for the trying to get that Northern water.
The surface of the pitch is shocking.
Yeah,
There's humps and bumps.
I mean, I could be thinking that we could be doing a whole new drainage strategy and then resurfacing the pitch, which might actually deter the rules for like 5.5 seconds as well. Or it might lose some soil and make them go, oh yeah, this is great. What I would like to see
things that we can
is
put in to mitigate mold.
and I'm not talking short term, is that we got the Mugger resurfaced for the point that there was some kind of sports surface there. Get the pitch resurfaced and drained properly, so at least whilst that's out of use, you've got something that's in use. And then look at what's actually happening with the Mugger site. I think it was 5 to 7 years that turnover for it needed to be resurfaced. So that it only if we do put a building there, you're looking at resurfacing it once again before that happens. And that's what, in my head, I think would be achievable for us down there.
So, has anyone been contacted to look at the football pitch space?
Not the surface of the grass pitch, no.
So that's what I was trying to get off, because it's going to get drainage. I mean, there's been epic attempts to get the drainage sorted out in the last few years, but I think it needs to be on a more industrial, even more industrial level.
Yes. A couple of years ago, me and Lindsay, Parish Council Chairman at the time, and Chris physically dragged a trenching system into the field drain and installed a couple of off-shot drains, which I went and checked the other day now, they're both still running really well. So, but many more are needed, and it's just putting a plaster on a problem. It's not, the field is sort of sunk in places.
That field was put there. It's not a natural flat surface or anything. It's not like what people have got elsewhere. And it's downhill from the bog field, and it's been affected by recent development, and it's downhill from the school field. The thing that we've got in our favour is that we own the land from the top of that rec field down to the river to get drainage sorted out. But what I would from Northumberland Water would be like a full assessment of the ecological impact and things as well as redrain. But the thing is that it's been done before, so I can't see it having a high impact, and it's got the drain at the side of it to re-tap into and things. But I think it just needs put into the drains, put into it, and then resurfacing. And I think it is a big job, but it's a big requirement.
The last time the field was drained was over 30 years ago, so so actually it's overdue.
Yeah, but I think the thing is that we've got to the point where everything's overdue, and unfortunately it's fallen on our shoulders to try and sort it. But I think Northumberland Water's at the moment our best bet with that. If everyone's happy for me to pursue that avenue.
Definitely. phone box.
Sorry, just before you jump
Oh,
on.
sorry.
The mugger, the sidewalls, everything.
Yeah, we discussed at the last meeting, we're going to look at redoing them, the plan.
So that would be a village working party again.
Working
Absolutely, do it.
There's nothing really strenuous involved. Taking down the old stuff and putting up new painted wood, stained wood, is something that we can all do.
We'll get a service sandblasted first.
Yeah, once it's got the new surface, take them off.
Take the sides off there, cut down.
No, it's done, I believe it's done with the sides.
It's in, yeah. And it means then it contains any debris and stuff. Yeah, no, we didn't discuss that last meeting. When you were there with me. Phone box, yes.
Spoke to them today,
Yes.
promised that we'll be back on site before the weekend. And the next plan for them is to, they've primed it, obviously, the first coat of primer shows up all of the imperfections.
Yeah.
So it's a case of high building the primer, which they're gonna totally enclose the phone box, put a tent, cover it all up and then spray it. And then, work on the surface of it until it's as good as they can possibly get it. And then it will turn red. Then the windows go in, then the nice shiny new door goes on.
Yeah.
And they're saying, weeks away from getting done, but
No, that's good.
That's
We've had the lead time of the door, so that's been the issue as well.
the contractor actually asked me to pass on their apologies. They are currently doing St Mary's Lighthouse, and the job's just, they were a small company and the job's just gone,
That's fair.
reserved, and they've had problems with weather and things like this. So passing their apologies, said they're not forgetting about it obviously, and they'll be there this week.
Do you know if they get glass structure steel? No, that's good. And fairness, I quite like it in light.
It's a shame it's only got obligations to make it red.
Yes!
What shade of red is it? What's the-
I do have it written down because I actually asked them today. I said, can you improve as well? And he actually bought the paint off the people who supplied all of it. I had a slight delay finding the correct glass pins to keep the glass in because it has to be a specific type. And I've got all faith that it's going to be great when they're done. So good.
Ongoing matters. I have got new laptops. I don't have a copy of that spreadsheet with me. However, one of the key items on it that we have had to take into our ownership, Chris wonderfully took out the bit of wood that was smashed on the white railing and replaced it.
I did, and I nailed it to some bouncy wood.
Bouncy wood, so I think that's something that we need to then communicate again with highways, county, whoever wants to try and deny ownership of it. I think we need to communicate with them that the uprights are rotten to the core, and
It's an accident,
basically.
So
Assuming it was put there for a reason.
Well, I don't, because it's a small drop from there to there. So I don't.
It could be something really, really historical, I think,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of houses along Main Street that at the moment their frontage goes straight out onto the path that they used to have, like little tiny front gardens and things like that. It's a bit of a weird one. I think it could just simply be the drop off because
It's the road and the junction.
sorry,
The road and the junction has been double.
right.
Yeah, no, but I don't think the drop. If that's a proper
The path
secure wall.
The path on the left's probably at the right line. Here's my notes on it.
That's right.
The path to
The drop itself isn't one that legally requires a handrail or anything.
it's less than
It's like 350 or 300. It's hardly anything. So it might be something that the
Back in the day when that fence was built, that was how courteous they were.
yeah.
free service.
And we're thinking, they'll go, well, do you know what, we don't need it, we'll take it out, we'll tidy that up, which, would we have an issue with that?
That's a big trick, isn't
Look, a row of pots.
it? We can get our, we can get our pots out of here.
Put street lights there.
Oh,
Not when the street lights go off, and then somebody puts a pot in the way.
I'm sorry, can I go on to pots before I forget?
Yes.
I've got someone who's volunteered for at least 2 pots.
Right, what ones?
Well, I think I need to know which ones.
We have Parkview
So,
and Deep Close. And I think the one outside the village hall here, on the entrance to Davidson Avenue, because it's had weeds in it that are about 4 foot tall. For the
are we
last few
sure? I
months.
don't want to.
I don't know what that, but
because
those
people
two are
get
definite, because
really-
that's where Parkview and Dean Close are definitely available, because the person
Yeah, so those ones.
stepped back from
yeah.
them. So yeah,
Cool.
Anne does have a list.
Yeah, well,
It was
so
just
if I just ask
ask Anne and
yeah,
Anne Walton.
but like
But
biting my hand off this person was, so
Yeah.
I was very, very.
also, is the one at the planter, is it vacant as well? Not at the top,
What, sorry?
the one up at the village entrance. So I think it's just got a weed growing in it at the moment. I'm not obviously that.
And the one at Church Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, the church bank, any church
Let's
bank
see
as
how
well.
much she actually wants. I need to.
I think maybe 4, 5.
At all corners of the village.
Like a wheelbarrow.
Excellent. I'll have a chat with Anne then and confirm which
Yeah.
ones are actually. And
Definitely the 2 there, because the person
Yeah.
resigned from them.
yeah.
If that's the cards, but yeah.
But that's okay. Sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting, but that was my level of enthusiasm there.
No. Yes, apologies, I don't have that spreadsheet with me. And I strictly didn't add it into the agenda. Health and surgery discussed already. I had hoped that we would have had the lease today, but I didn't get it from, what's her name? What's her face? She is. So is it Claire, actually, yeah. She has a partner with them, so I'm assuming she's kind of a bit busy on stuff and that. But I'll give it a chase later this week that we get it, and then hopefully get a separate meeting to just review and discuss and approve. Neighbourhood plan we have had already.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
This is the volunteer section.
This is the volunteer section. For last the co-op thing, we'll get some new victims for some different groups. If there's any in there that take your interest,
I can't read it.
no.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I don't read it.
So, yeah, natural flip,
There you go.
biodiversity climate change committee.
Please join the biodiversity climate change.
Do you like the diesel car?
It's just me.
We're all on the complaints committee. I'm not gonna lie, the cemetery one can be interesting and boring at the same time, and you've got the joys of having to deal with the other parishes. Finance, any finance interest? It'd probably be good to have someone on there. We're coming up to budget time.
Absolutely no.
No. No, nice boy. Okay. Recreation field? Yeah, no, that one. Yeah? Yeah. Right. 2 more for the recreation field. Just so you know, Gem's the manager of that, and she'll order you to do everything.
I'm not the manager.
Property committee, so that's benches and bins and plant pots.
I think
On that,
provided we're willing to continue as we are,
Yeah,
just leave that go.
cool.
did we have a look into getting another poo bin on the loop?
Yeah, that was
yes.
actually, that was actually.
Yes,
last minute.
we.
Agreed, yes. To get another
I think we've got the permission.
Yeah,
We should
because
get one.
We need to get one, and that was it. I'll have a
we
look.
got written permission off him now.
No, but I can get that.
Yeah.
I'll get written permission from.
And if he wavers on it, so you promised Gemma.
Yeah.
Verbally.
Mr. Patterson.
Mr. Patterson.
Pattinson,
Pattinson.
like the estate agents.
Yeah.
Like the estate.
Very
So,
I can contact them about that, but
Yeah, no, if you want, yeah.
yeah.
I'll have a look because I did see when I was up in Scotland there were some good ones that looked, they were a bit lower down, looks as if they were rather than the ones on the top of the pole. They're on a pole, but it kind of goes down from the pole and they have a little bit larger capacity. Or it had the observation of a larger capacity.
One of the busiest.
So it's the busiest one
Not
bit.
used.
I think one halfway around gives us one at Coquette, one there, one at Winter Gap, and we've got
yeah. Just needs to go on that bed.
further along towards the
Near the school as well.
near the school as well.
Yeah,
Okay, so we cover all the options there.
I wish you'd pronounce that properly. It's
Well,
cooked.
I think if we learn that one.
Coquette.
I agree that we go with
So
our
that's
sheep,
why I'm-
because we call it coca.
Apologies, no, the tea on there. Cooked.
Not the property, not.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we've
The
updated
contracts and policy review is speaking about.
contracts and policy. In fairness,
There's going to be work on that one.
There
It's
is.
coming
And
up.
I think, yeah, I think really,
There's two
it'll
contracts.
be fun.
In April, all of the tenders are out for the grass cutting and the maintenance, the hedgerows and stuff like that. So,
And we need a mole contract.
you know, it's
When are we going out to tender? Christmas?
we'll have to, yeah.
we're gonna have to wait soon. Yeah.
I think we're normally out by now. I think they were out for tender early last time.
In fairness, I think that's probably not complex tender.
No.
Do you have a copy of any of the documents in there for the last one? Do you want to send them on? I can review it and put something together to go out.
You're on the website.
That's fine.
Use them.
Yeah. The committees working groups. We had a cemetery committee meeting. We discussed mainly the remembrance service, which will be Sunday the 10th. I was at the meeting, but yeah, Sunday the 10th at 11 o'clock. We have a stand-in reverend for it,
Yeah.
because
James.
James the Tall, Richard the Tall, he is going to, I think, Long Horsley or Long Family to
Yeah,
run
it's
because he's
rotating.
I think he rotates around them, so yeah, standard stuff. We've got our Neil's going to organise our reef and
The reason is
more closures being put in and everything.
Flowers are being ordered.
PA's been sorted.
List.
You do it 10?
Not 10, nor the event notice.
So the asset man can drive through the middle of it again.
The hosts.
Just need to get the roll call.
Yeah, because the roll call on our website is wrong. Or it's got half the roll call.
Right.
So we were planning on getting that updated.
Who from the parish councils, but we've done.
Well, I did it last
second.
Was that not our jurisdiction actually?
So, I would do it, but I spend my time trying to keep one small person quiet and watch the other one have a nervous breakdown and the scout line up on its own.
No,
I would be okay if you want to, but
no, that's fine. But I'll save that for the time that I can't do it. Or I don't want to. As long as it's not wet. Don't do rain. I think that's it. We will probably have some more committee meetings this month because in fact we need to have a finance meeting for budgets. And I think that you probably want to try and get one to try and get some of the community ones involved, so we can have a look at dates for the hall on Thursdays or even Mondays, I guess, and see.
mentioned that the parish council signed out in block and thank you to the community.
Yeah. So no, I think it'd be good to try and get those ones on at this spot. And I think property wise, worth a little walk around again, just see what things are looking like.
It's a good idea to make sure the ribbons are full and stuff like that.
Yeah, just that's it.
Shall I just go around and do that and then just want to talk about it?
But you don't like having a little walk around with your friends?
It takes all day.
Because you're all chatting.
It's because we always find stuff to
Because
do.
you just go past the pub.
No.
No?
No.
No?
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're behind this one. Probably. Yeah.
Then you can ride them at the fair as well.
Right,
No, it would be a good idea to make sure the ribbons and stuff.
yeah, just let them see the ones that think the price that won't get replaced with the council, they're going to replace that, will they?
Do you know if they did?
Don't think so.
No, maybe get on with them, because it'll be, I'm just trying to not a frosty, icy morning, right? Yeah, ready?
Right, so.
They're going to be soon. 15, I don't know, have you had any update from Anne with regards to our village hall questions?
The postal box has been approved.
She's approved, okay,
It's been approved,
Good.
you just need to actually physically buy one and install it.
Right.
It has been approved and signed.
perfect. I can have a look this week and find one and we can get one ordered or something. Yeah, just, they'll need, yeah. I'm assuming you're happy with it, just being a black post box thing.
Yeah, I think everything fits in with what's currently out there.
It's a big green one, so. We'll go with black.
Having one with Felton Parish Council written on it would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Get one
Yeah.
signed up.
And it's all signed.
We can sort something there. When we get to
It's also installed, yeah.
I might take down the sign outside of yours this weekend, John.
which now? Oh, the letter.
Do the letting.
Take the sign down.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the end of
the
it.
street.
The one that's tarmacked the path.
No, but the board can come off.
Oh,
I assume something will come off so I can get to the lettering at the top.
surely it will take you a lot longer than coming along the little step ladder and the pot goes big.
Yes, but you can do it in a nice dry warm garage.
There's nothing to paint around.
So
It needs a varnish taken back and blah 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 blah.
Well, if you're going to varnish that, you need to do the whole thing, don't you?
That's what I said, I was going to take it down.
The whole side,
No, it's the frame there.
the glass cabinet. Ooh, right, on you go.
My dad's due, I thought I'd get the job.
Perfect.
Comes up while in the hand with.
Just chat on them, so put the cabinet
That's
down.
good
Yeah.
on that.
Once it's installed, then I'll update all the
Yeah, we can get those updated then.
bank details and stuff, yeah.
Anything from the police?
No, thank you.
Seriously,
Nothing from.
still nothing from the police.
I think there might be something next month, like. Did you see the police chase through the village yesterday?
No.
There was a car came flying through the village at about 90 miles an hour, closely followed by a police car, an unmarked police car, and a helicopter.
What?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Wait.
And well, I was working in the den, and loads of people came in. Everybody that came in said, You don't believe what's going on out there. And then somebody was tracking the police helicopter and it circled Felton for ages. And then it's yeah. It's like something off the telly.
Fair enough. I think I probably had a screaming child then.
Drowning out the sound of a police cars in a helicopter.
Honestly.
What time was this at?
About 5:15.
Ooh.
Quarter past half past 5.
That'll be. Maybe not, wasn't it? See, where was it?
Wrestling sheep.
Nothing from police, nothing from county council. Thorn.
Trevor pledged us some money. Did we have that in writing or?
Who pledged?
No, the last week we did see the key
Turn,
card.
county councillor.
I would try and swing him in the loop on when you go back to Glen.
So, yeah.
And then sort of like tie in just in like,
Am I right in thinking that Glenn takes over in 2025?
if he gets elected in the next election, yes.
But he had, yeah,
But Trevor said that he still has some
yeah.
for this final year, and Glen's
I'll
also.
send him a letter saying about the good work he's doing in the children's park.
Yeah,
I do.
it's just missing this.
Yeah, and
final
tell him
piece.
how much lens.
And Glen's already, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
he won't want to let us down.
And he did.
He did it it's the last meeting he was at, I think.
He was a bit vague, I think, about
Yeah.
the actual amount though, wasn't he?
I think he said he had some budget.
He had some budget left, so
Yeah.
anything's better than nothing. Still,
I know.
then 1,000.
Okay.
So I'm not being here still. We've got the address that we can agreed here. We'll purchase a plot thingy. Correspondence received. We've got some here. Apologies, I think there is an email that I'm due to respond to you on with regards to councillors and etc. Came into the clerk. Did we be September sometime? Not long after the last meeting, I think.
Okay.
I don't think we've responded, have we?
I thought
Top of my head, I don't know.
John, you
I think I sent you an email
You
just
did?
saying. Yeah. Sure I did.
Yeah, you did.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we.
I'm just, sorry. 15th of September. Yeah, I did.
I thought there was one after that. No. Well,
We'll have a look if we're
yeah.
due to.
No, if you're happy that we've responded to everything, that's fine. I think that you'll see with the vacancies we've advertised on the website and then notify county of them with the dates, etc. Those ones, well, Cadman was a more recent resignation, and Flint hadn't been. When I spoke to county council at the election scene, they weren't aware of it, so we thought on some basis we'll notify them officially again and advertise it again. The two vacancies we filled had been Councillor Suter and Culpits. Yeah. It was not agenda, so we technically did approve it, I think, but back in July meeting with the reimburse suggested good receipts though, so yeah. If they've got receipts, then we're happy to reimburse. We did agree the expenditure.
Yeah.
Isn't he email out tonight? Yeah. Open Reach Wayleave for 1 number pole on Rec Lane.
What's one in our way?
One number in our number.
I thought it was 2 poles, no?
1 number on our land. 1 number on John's land.
Okay.
Or potentially on John's land and potentially on our land. Obviously we've been delaying this since August when we started chasing for it. I personally don't see any issue with it as long as we've discussed it as it needs to be in right next to the hedgerow as far as possible sort of thing. So long as it doesn't restrict the access. I don't know, it just depends.
Well, which part of the hedge do you want it aligned with?
Well, it's have you
No, but the hedge is like that.
I know, but it's tight in with its one. Have you
I'm not allowed to discuss that a lot.
Well,
We're not discussing it, no.
Alright, yeah, don't worry.
So the thing, my concern was the pole is on your side of the street, but to miss people's houses that go to the south side of the lane, and then for whatever reason they want to bring it back across the lane again, which is probably above our pay grade. It's their decision.
So basically, they want to put a pole in here. It's on Parish Council land, basically. So we need to then agree to it, and they will give us £157 one-off payment for land rent, basically.
And if we don't agree to it and take that money, what happens?
They can potentially just force it through the courts, which I would hazard a guess will end up costing us more than £157.50.
So,
I would hazard a guess they're probably getting rather annoyed and frustrated at the moment with, given that we're almost 2-3 months on since they asked.
Is the pool on your land separated?
It's a separate item, but it's for John to determine whether if he wants.
I don't really think we've got a choice in this matter.
It's one of those,
It's one
like,
of those, it's,
getting a BT line and poles to the end of Rec Lane benefits us immensely
Yeah,
for
and it's,
future projects. So, obviously, I don't really need to. You just don't need to leave the room, I guess. You just can't vote.
I don't give a damn either way.
Yeah. So, can we show hands if we're happy to with the accepting 1 pole in the Parish Council land? Okay. So,
Can I be abstained?
so, okay. We're good.
Okay.
Planning. I think there's one.
Now that's voted for.
Yeah.
They're giving you like an agreement that they're saying, agree to this and take 150 quid, or it's going to cost you loads and loads of money.
Yeah.
So
It's the way it works.
it's a choice. It's a choice to fight or accept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
But at the end, at the end of the day, it's a square. It's a square.
a square foot of land. It is. That is probably the value of it.
I don't want to get mad. I don't want to get wrong for saying this, but I've made them inflict a clause to say that if the pool ever had to be removed, it would have to be at their expense. It's item number 7E on the waiting agreement.
This is the one on your land, Joe?
Yeah, I'd like to think that they put it in yours, but I haven't even looked at that document. So it's item 7A on our agreement. It's just if things change, and if you had to get an extremely wide vehicle down there, which of course you wouldn't because it wouldn't fit past the bank of the other building, but it just to cover myself, if that pool was ever encumbering something else, then you have to come up with a solution for it. But it's not in forever, is what I was making sure. Which is not, I don't think it's very significant. How many pools do you walk past in a day and don't even notice? But anyway, poles at the end of Main Street beside my house, so they couldn't just run straight across the middle. The Openreach engineer, when he came out to do like the survey on where to do, it was very thorough. You know, the measurements and stuff like that, it was quite incredible. I got a FaceTime phone call from them.
Just let me, there's the, basically, should you wish to terminate it, you've got 18 months notice, and it has to be, well, this is somebody, if you intend to redevelop the land in the area, you can't reasonably do so unless the agreement comes to an end, so that clause that you're talking about is in, so. Okay. We're planning matters. Yeah, I don't, it didn't appear to be anything when I did this that there was any outstanding planning in the
No, it was, what happened to the,
it's not Felton Parish. Does it come under our jurisdiction on the planning board?
it was on the website,
Wasn't it?
wasn't it? The site at High Park.
No, we just got a comment there for his book.
How was it just in correspondence?
I think it was in, correspondence, in correspondence to the last meeting. But yeah, on the planning board, you filter it to the parish and it gives you the ones that are active at this time. Yeah.
So that was last.
Yeah. It was on the last one where we I think it was the last meeting we updated that it got.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Just zoomed out for a second.
That's fine. Items for next agenda.
Surgery again, obviously.
Surgery.
Hopefully the unveiling of the phone box.
Phone box.
Probably the you walk around.
Yeah, just comes in the things.
Another thing.
Ongoing matters. I'll bring it this time. Yeah, so you've drafted up, yes. Next meeting looks to be November 4th at 7:15, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Were you closing now or was it?
Yeah, we're closing again
I think
21
we want to have a bit more of a chat about the plot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we'll close. Or what in detail do we want? Is it something we're going to?
I think it was stuff that was financially sensitive.
Right. Okay. On that then, under sections 1, 2 of the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960 to exclude the public and press, and the business being discussed becomes in nature confidential, being, as Chair mentioned, can we pass a resolution to close the meeting to discuss that? Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, what you're discussing? Because it's not on the agenda, so can you clarify what exactly you're...
It's further to item 9 on the agenda.
You've already discussed it,
We're further discussing it.
but you should have put that resolution at the time.
Apologies. We're doing it now at the end of the meeting rather than kicking everyone out for part of a meeting to bring it back in for the rest of the meeting.
Or just put it at the end of the meeting.
Again, we had someone here that we wanted to discuss things with you as well. We're just trying to do it the best we can so we don't have too many people that
The
don't
best it can would be,
hanging around.
best it can would be to be open and transparent.
we are being open and transparent.
Well, obviously not by closing the meeting, but anyway, that's okay.
Yeah, in your opinion,
Okay.
which you will